Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing a flip through of my 2006 Disney album. And these items are pretty old and may not be available anymore, but I'll still give you guys a look at the collection that I used towards the end of this video. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. So here we're taking a look at the album cover, and there's a cute little cardstock embellishment of Mickey on the cover. And this is a 12 by 12 post-bound album, and the brand would be Sandy Lion. Now this is the very first album I ever completed, and there's nothing I would change about it, even though my style has changed obviously since then. I do love how this album turned out. So next we'll go ahead and take a look inside. And I do want to apologize for any distractions that the glare would cause. It's very hard to avoid the glare of my lighting in my scrap room. So here we're looking at my intro page, and I have a Disney fabric embellishment to the top as my title. I also went ahead and used the photo that we purchased at Disney that said the year that we were there, which is obviously 2006. And I used my number template to write out the number 2006, then I outlined it in red stickles. So next we're looking at a double page layout, and almost all of my pages are double page layouts and multiple photo layouts. And I also use a lot of 5x7 photos on my layouts as well. So this is us entering Disney, and this would be the Orlando, Florida location. And that would be a 5x7 photo on the top. And I just used some vellum that I tore the edges, along with some pattern paper and some of the cutouts from the cut apart sheet. I also used some cute little Mickey buttons and some word phrases, some fabric word phrases. Now on this second layout, you can see I used the vellum once again with the torn edges. I just fussy cut those characters out and placed them along that side of the layout. And I backed it all with that blue cardstock. So here on my second double page layout, you'll see this is all about Main Street. And those are some Mickey Mouse head that I use as the balloons, and I use that to put my title on, Main Street. And I just doodled in the strings. Now these are all little things we saw on the way to the castle on Main Street. That photo is a 5x7, and it's matted using pattern paper. And I did use my decorative scissors to cut the edges of that mat along with that little border piece at the bottom of the page. And these would be 3 4x6 photos on this page. So my next layout is pretty simple. It's a lot of stickers that I used, and this would be the castle. And there's a lot of stickers of the princesses that would live in the castle, and some flowers and butterflies. And that is a 5x7, I believe, photo. And there is no mat under those photos. I decided to leave them like they are. So my next layout would be entering rides and attractions. Now for the top border, I used a pattern paper, and as you can see, there's a lot of phrases on top, and it pretty much just lists a lot of rides and attractions you see at Disney, which would be like fireworks. It says Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Splash Mountain, and so on. Some of the photos you see here from the Haunted Mansion, Peter Pan's Flight, Splash Mountain, and A Small World. And if you look closely around the photos, I went ahead first of all and matted my photos, and then I used stickles all around my photos just to give it that shiny, glittery look you're seeing right now. And there once again is the Mickey head, and I went ahead and added my journaling to that. And you can see throughout the album the Mickey's head goes throughout just to tie all the pages in. Now this has to be one of my favorite layouts in this album, and it's the only candid shots we got that day of any of the characters. We were just on our way to one of the attractions, and we saw Tigger and Winnie the Pooh just walking through the park. And that's the shots that I got. So I wanted to keep these layouts colored similar to the characters themselves, but I also needed it to match each other. So I used the black matting and the orange carried over from both sides, and that pretty much pulls both layouts together. So here we have Mickey's Toontown, and those letters were actually cut out from templates. I used my craft knife to hand cut all of those letters out. This was way before I owned a die cut machine, so I hand cut a lot of stuff. And those little swirls were, I believe those were a punch. And you can see these layouts are pretty simple. I kept them really simple. I wanted the main focus, of course, to be on the photos. Here we have a lot of photos. This would be a total of 9 4x6 photos on this double page layout. So the title is from a cut apart sheet. I cut out the letters and just added them to my layout, and the title says Jungle Cruise. And here I'm showing you a ribbon that I had with paws, and I thought it was appropriate for this layout. And there's some vellum on both sides and also along the bottom of the layout. And that's just us on our way to the cruise. And the other photos were ones that were taken while we were on the boat. And I just remember that day our guide was so funny and very memorable, of course, since I'm still remembering it today. So the next layout would be of another ride that we went on. It's called A Small World. And the lighting in these photos were terrible because we were indoor in a pretty dark tunnel ride. So I had to use the flash on my camera, and it didn't turn out the best, but at least I was able to record these memories. And there's the Mickey Mouse head again as my base for my title. And here I just used some pattern paper on both sides of the layout and along the bottom. And here we continue the ride on the next 2 pages. So I just went ahead and kept the red going through just to show that, it's the same ride and to connect it all. And those are just images we saw along that ride. And those Mickey Mouse ears and the black circles and so on were outlined with a silver Sharpie, I believe. Here we have Indy Racing, and those are pictures of my boys, the 3 boys. And their dad took them in on that attraction. And at the bottom, just showing you that black is actually a torn cardstock that I put along the edge. So yes, my husband, their dad, took them into the attraction while my daughter and I, it was quite hot that day and she wasn't gonna be getting in the cars and so on. So we just waited outside of that area while they were in there. And that's what my little journaling says, patiently waiting for the boys. And again, that Mickey head and all those circles are outlined in stickles. And here you can see there's 5 photos all together on this layout. So my next layouts would be of us meeting the characters. And here you can see those little squares at the bottom. Each square has a letter on it, and it just says meet, and across both pages. The first one on the left would be when we met Daisy Duck. The right side will be where we met Donald Duck. And these would be 5x7 photos. And we'll be meeting some more characters in the next few pages. So here we met Pluto, and I used a heart punch to punch out those hearts, and I attached them using some jump rings. And this would be a 5x7 photo. And I just put added some pattern paper on the bottom, along with a cutout of Pluto. And as you can see, it was a fun time meeting Pluto. He gave such big hugs, and everybody was so excited to meet him. And my next page would be a pretty calm page, is meeting Minnie, and my daughter was asleep, as you can see. And these pages are of her color, which would be black and red and white. And I just cut out that little wave on the bottom, pattern paper, and that's black cardstock as my background. Added 2 flowers on each side. And both photos are 5x7s, I believe. And next, we will be looking at autographs. Now the word autographs, I also hand cut those letters out using my template and my craft knife. And these autographs are actually stickers from, excuse me, a sticker sheet I purchased, not the actual autographs of the characters, of course. And then I added on the bottom some stickers of the characters. And the background is a silver cardstock, a silver glittery cardstock. The next page we'll be looking at would be of my postcards. Everywhere I go that we visit, I usually collect postcards and magnets. So my magnet, of course, is on my refrigerator, and here's where I added my postcards. I used that cardstock, specialty cardstock with the stars and so on along the outer edges. And I added in my postcards as well as some of those Mickey Mouse head embellishments. And it says words like fun, magical, wish, and dream. And this would be my last page, and it says remember, and this would be our tickets. You can see 2 of those pressed coins along with the little ticket that went in our car. And we paid, let's see, $9 to park. And there would be our guide map as well. So all of those would be the memorabilia we collected that day. And I often get these coins a lot of places we go, but I lose them, over time. So I decided to start adding them into my memorabilia page on my vacation albums. So if you stick around, we'll take a look now at the collection that I used. And if you like this video, please go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. Take a look around at my other videos, and if you like what you see, subscribe and click on that bell so you won't miss out on future videos. So this would be the collection that I used, and this is how I store it. And if you want to see more on how I store my collections and papers and so on, I do have a few organizing videos on my channel that you can check out. And it's been quite a while since I went through these, but this would be what we consider a paper pad back then in 2006. And this is from hot off the press. And as you can see, it contains a lot of items in there, papers, cut apart sheets and so on, alphas, everything was in there. This is just a piece of vellum from the sheets that I used and that I purchased separately. There's the cutout of the Mickey head. I'm just giving you guys a quick flip through of what I have left and what I worked with. This sticker sheet hasn't even been used yet. But I do plan on doing Disney albums for my kids as well, so I'll be using these items in there. And most of these, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did purchase these items along with the album from Joanne.com. And there you can see that sheet is pretty much done, just a few flowers on it, as well as this sheet. I used quite a lot from this one. And it's also from Sandy Lion. They all tied in with the album. All the items I purchased tied in with the album. So yeah, that'll be, we're coming close to the end of the video. And like I said, go ahead, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And thank you guys for watching. And until my next video, bye.